you know, behaviorism is something that we have seen as such a progressive thing. And it's not that behaviorism itself, and I like we say, it's not that it's a bad thing, but when we put it at the forefront of everything we do, which is what we do, and we do, you know, we polish it up in different flavors and it looks different and we dress it up differently depending on what style we want to use with it, but it's still within the framework of behaviorism. And when you actually look at what behaviorism is, it's actually very limiting. And
Yeah.
when you look at, you know, like if you want to call them the founders of behaviorism, and the history of where that came from and the things they believed, and the fact that this really was, it stemmed from something, a belief that, you know, even us as humans didn't, you know, emotions were irrelevant. You know, that was it wasn't a controversial belief. It was just a standard belief that emotions were either not relevant or non-existent. It didn't matter, and therefore all that matters is this, you know, external output from what we put in, so internal and external. And it was just about, it's very much a mechanical way of
Yes.
viewing animals, or viewing any sentient being. And although we have come quite far from that time, thankfully, you know, and we have incorporated, okay, we recognize that animals are sentient and we recognize that they have these emotions. But what we've tried to do with that, and I don't know if you agree with me here, but it's like we tried to squash that into a framework that it was never built for. And so you
Yeah.
get this conflict. And then this is where you see, you know, where it is just stripped down to reward the stuff you like, or either ignore the stuff you don't like and reward the stuff you do like, or punish the stuff you don't like and reward the stuff you do like. So it, and when you strip it down, that can all be dressed up in so many different ways, and there's lots of different training styles to incorporate that within balance training, within the force free community. But
Yeah.
it's very, very simplistic. And I do think that, you know, when, especially with your history with coming from psychology and, you know, understanding the human mind, and working with mental health, because obviously you will know a fair bit about psychology. You understand how the brain works and how emotions unpack and how they impact our behavior. And that, I think, gave you that insight. And, you know, coming into that, making the changes that you've done, I think that's absolutely fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like things are slowly getting there. I feel like, and I think, I guess it's when you know, people say it's that, it's, you know, it's a very cliche thing to say, but you're finding your tribe, and I think, you know, it is about that, but also I think reaching everyone as well, because what we don't want to ever do is become elitist. I think that's, you know, that you get these sort of ideas of our way is the best, and
Mm.
you know, that's something else that I've always tried to avoid. That, you know,